Hello, I'm Kimberlie Acosta. Welcome to the Native News Update on Friday, July 2nd. Many of the stories you hear here can be found at our website, IndianCountryNews.com. And here's the news for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. As senators question U.S. Supreme Court nominee Elana Kagan, the American Indian community watch with interest and with a mounting sense of frustration. While they hoped to glean insight into Kagan's views of Indian country issues, some saw the process as a missed opportunity by the president to nominate a qualified American Indian lawyer, law professor, or tribal jurist to the nation's highest court. Prior to Kagan's nomination, both the National Native American Bar Association and the National Congress of American Indians sent letters to the White House extolling the qualifications of prominent natives who they deemed worthy of consideration. While other ethnic groups and women have made strides in reaching the federal bench, there has never been an American Indian appointed to the Supreme Court or appellate bench. And out of the nation's more than 860 federal judgeships, no one is currently occupied by an American Indian. The Federal Judicial Center lists only 2 Native American judges as having been served in the nation's history. The Department of the Interior on June 30th slapped BP America with $5.2 million civil penalty for submitting false, inaccurate, or misleading reports regarding natural gas production on Southern Ute land in southwestern Colorado. It was believed to be the largest civil fine the department has levied since penalties were authorized by federal law in 1982. Tribal auditors first brought the errors to the attention of BP 3 years ago after discovering that the company's reports included inaccurate royalty rates, sales prices, and production data related to the leases. 6 Tennessee groups waged a bitter struggle to be recognized as American Indian tribes by the State Commission of Indian Affairs. Some other American Indians dismissed them as nothing more than social clubs, but the committee acknowledged them as legitimate tribes in June. The recognition brings with it money, minority status, and new opportunities for individual members. But their celebration was short-lived. Critics say they will siphon federal grant and scholarship money away from established groups. Mark Miller, a spokesman for the Oklahoma-based Cherokee Nation, said the Tennessee groups are stealing the identity of recognized tribes. The Cherokee Nation filed suit on June 30th, asking the state to change its decision. Members of the newly recognized tribes are claiming that a drop of Native American blood is enough to make a person an American Indian, and that genealogical research and DNA tests prove their lineage. The 6 tribes are made up of the descendants of Indians who hid their lineage to keep from being relocated to reservations. Native American students at schools overseen by the Federal Bureau of Indian Education performed significantly worse on national standardized tests in reading and math compared with those in the public schools. The National Indian Education Study released found lags in achievement and persistent gaps among Native American students and their peers. There was also a significant disparity among Native American students depending on the type of school they attended. Those in public schools, and particularly those in schools where Native American students represent less than 25% of the population, consistently scored higher than their peers who attended schools heavily populated by Native Americans. The most stark contrast was seen among those who attend Bureau of Indian Education schools, which are created to provide quality education to Native Americans. The Bureau oversees 183 schools on 64 reservations in 23 states, a majority of which are run by tribes. Utah's most prominent athletes, business, and political leaders are teaming up to help Native Americans escape poverty. Retired Philadelphia Eagles tight end Chad Lewis is one of the notable people in Utah using his star power to help. Lewis encourages Native American students on reservations to stay in school. Lewis shared his message to a packed audience at a banquet and auction on June 30th. He is encouraging everyone to help Native Americans through American Indian Services. The organization gives 100% of the money it raises to fund half-ride scholarships for deserving students. The organization hopes to raise $2 million this year, which is enough to give 2,000 Native American students a $1,000 scholarship. For more information on the organization, you can visit AmericanIndianServices.org. The 8th Annual Native American Basketball Invitational, the largest NCAA-certified Native American basketball tournament, will be honoring the Haskell Indian Nations University Women's Basketball Team with the NABI Achievement Award during the NABI Girls Championship halftime at the U.S. Airways Center on July 10th. The NABI Achievement Award will be presented to the Haskell for demonstrating tremendous athletic achievement. The 2009 and 2010 women's team qualified for the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics Division No. 2 National Basketball Championships. Although the Haskell women's team lost in the first round of the tournament, the team enjoyed a winning season and made history as the first Native American college to make it to the NAIA. The 8th annual NABI tournament will take place July 6th through the 10th, with the championship games hosted at the U.S. Airways Center, home of the Phoenix Suns and Phoenix Mercury. 37 men's and 33 women's teams will compete for the 2010 championship trophy. For more information, you can visit nabifoundation.org. President Barack Obama announced July 1st that he intends to appoint Yakima tribal member Patsy Whitefoot to the National Advisory Council on Indian Education. As a member of the 15-member council under the Secretary of Education, she would help shape Indian educational policy and regulations nationwide. Whitefoot was instrumental in getting both Yakima language and cultural classes into the school district, which has helped students not only retain their traditional language, but also excel in English. She has helped teachers and school administrators understand tribal culture, such as the time needed away from classes to gather traditional foods for spiritual ceremonies and funerals. Whitefoot will be the sole representative on the council for the Pacific Northwest region. It took Twilight to do what Hollywood's major studios have struggled with for over a century: treat Native American teenagers like normal kids. No leather loincloths, no hair feathers, no dancing around campfires, no tales of woe on reservations. Chesky Spencer, who plays the leader of the pack, told Reuters that working in the Twilight movies has been exciting because it portrays Native Americans in a new and positive light and is aimed at a younger audience. Members of the wolf pack dress like modern kids at the mall in denim jeans and shirts. There's a lot of stereotypes that have been squashed, Spencer said, and that many times actors like himself are forced into leather and feathered roles that portray historical Indians of the Old West. And that's the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. I'd like to thank you for joining me and have a grand day.